think after having the opportunity of teaching here in 2018, it's like, we should do a show. 6 shows I sent to you, and you were like, no. I said, okay, I have one more to send you. And that was the Amish Project by Jessica Dickey. But the way that it's written, the story is just very direct. It's very clear.
Wear a dark shirt?
No dark shirt.
No dark shirt.
You're wearing dark pants. You can't do that.
Oh.
Is this not right?
I see his body in the fight, muscles tight, shaking.
And now you look over there and you say, you take it from here. I was a good girl.
In the next row, we have Margaret. And I will if I have to, right? But mostly what I want to do is try to sculpt it.
I'd love for you to start Man Enters Boom, Amish Schoolhouse.
Thank you.
I met Nikki Hartman in 2017 in a Meisner teacher program in Oregon, and we immediately fell in love with each other. Not immediately, I think it took a week.
It's 4 years that we started talking about it, and I think it was December of 19. We knew what show we were going to do. We had funding, and we began to move into the next stages of the process.
So the Amish Project, that's the big thing about it is it's about a school shooting, but it's based on real events. So in the play, Eddie goes to an Amish schoolhouse and shoots 9 little Amish girls and then himself. And it's also mentioned a few times in the play that the media assumes he went there to rape them.
And the story is told with a lot of stillness, with a lot of isolation. It's 7 stories. As the play goes on, the 7 stories begin to interweave, and the larger story comes forward because we have the world of the living and we have the world of the dead, or the metaphysical world. And both are present on stage. And in the play, the worlds, which begin as separate worlds in a way, they begin from this event, begin to intertwine, and the timeline, which is separate for all of the people involved, begins to intertwine as well.
I think it's about forgiveness, and that there's so much bad in the world, but it's how you handle that.
And I think in February, when I returned from Seattle, being in Seattle for a while, we cast the first cast of the production. That was in February of 2020. And at that time, we cast Ria Kovko and Alex Grant.
I worked with Nikki 4 years ago, and I learned so much. It was crazy.
We have been planning to do it and working on it like for already 2 years, and we were almost ready to go in 2020, and then the pandemic came and everything had to stop.
And then we postponed due to COVID, and the world shut down. I remember in January of 2021, I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll get to go this year. The United States wouldn't let me travel. The state of Maryland wouldn't let me travel either. So we postponed again until 2022. And I think the sensibilities about theater shifted during COVID. And even our set design shifted from 2020 to 2022. Like, we stripped away everything and just went with the 10 chairs of the schoolhouse. After we saw that we could actually mount the show in 2022, after 2 years of not doing it, I asked Adam Mendelsohn to come aboard as lighting and sound designer.
I was literally working on the opening sound sequence that you hear in the show with the 10 booms and the music and everything. I was on my computer, headphones were on, I was doing that edit.
Amish Schoolhouse. enters Amish schoolhouse.
Man enters Amish schoolhouse.
Man enters Amish schoolhouse.
And opens fire.
And that's when Nikki called me to say that the show was canceled.
2 of the actors got COVID. Nikki got COVID. And so we had to cancel the production again.
Interestingly enough, 10 days before the opening, July 19th, when I got COVID.
So took my headphones off, had a moment of sadness for that, and was really glad that last year I purchased my tickets refundable.
It was super disheartening, I think, especially since we spent the entire summer working on the show. So it was like we had all the build-up and we didn't get to finish what we started.
That was a really hard time. That was a really difficult time.
In November, we were on the phone and I asked Nikki if she still wants to do it. And she said, I don't know.
I said, what do you want to do, Lou?
And I thought, okay, it has to be finished, because when I start a project, I need to finish it. Nikki was thinking about it, and suddenly, we talked to each other in January, and then she said,
okay, I'm ready to do it. Let's see where we are, who could still be aboard, how can we make it work? And you said, oh!
So now you want to do it again. And I was really happy, and she was happy. We were laughing. Said, okay, let's do it this year.
The goal was to bring the cast back together and pick up right where we were when we postponed for the COVID. And we began casting again for the people who weren't going to be able to do the show that we were aware of at the time. And in 2023, we began again, the third time. We were working in the director's studio upstairs here at MFA, and it was magical. And the cast during the first read-through and the design presentation, Adam joined us via Zoom, and we laid out the production. And everyone at the table was deeply moved by the ideas of how we were going to bring the production to life and what we wanted to highlight about the story.
I am more than the why. If you were a decent wife, those poor girls would be alive today.
Some woman came up to me in the grocery store. I was reading the lies on some face lotion, and this woman came up to me.
When I first read the play, it took me dark places.
I found reading the play kind of like reading a newspaper article, so it's something that you hear every couple of weeks, things like this happening.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
Oh, there are other people in Lancaster besides the Amish. The answer is yeah.
Damien came aboard as Eddie.
But when I read the play, it was very intimidating because the character is the murderer in the situation. It's a very intense role.
Just his physical presence walking 2 feet into this collection of chairs caused the 2 actors who were playing the young Amish girls to become really uncomfortable. I realized that it would be different when we brought aboard Victoria and Annalena.
she has long hair, the color of walnut, and pink fingernails, and stinky feet, and pretty pink lips.
The first thing I see is flowers. Flowers in the bright day yard behind our house.
It felt like we were people who are put together, like we were not a whole ensemble yet.
To be honest, I didn't know anything about the nickel mines shooting.
But the way that Nikki directs is very nice because she's a calm person and she always looks out for her actors.
At the beginning, she's like, we're gonna have fun today. Even if people are tired or maybe someone has a bad day, it always ends up just being a great rehearsal.
And so the production became a different production even before I got here. The same thing occurred when Alex graciously stepped out.
A family issue hit her very hard. So I thought, okay, what now? Because Alex was working on the project as long as Nikki and I was, and she was doing a lot of the planning of the organization. She took care of everything what I couldn't do, and she just couldn't do it. And it was her decision to bring in Lara.
And it was quite challenging to get all the work and all the lines, obviously, and yeah, all the depth of the story, the character in this short amount of time.
But Lara, in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, did an amazing job of capturing Carol and the movement that I wanted to see happen for the character of Carol and for the way that the audience is taught the lesson of the play.
Nikki has so much passion for theater work, for working with actors, for the play. She's really excited, and she gives you a great feeling of a safe space. So if you have a question, she already has the answer. Like you start the question, she's like, I know, and then she tells you what her point of view is.
It's really amazing to work with actors who are so well trained or who had proper training.
In the States, you have to ask so much more permission. Nikki came and said, "May I touch your shoulders to move you over here?" And I'm like, yeah, we're here to rehearse, of course.
I'm so very excited about being back on stage, and I'm really, really looking forward to that, and it feels great.
The Amish Project made it to the stage. Finally. One of the things I think about the Pepper Theater, I walked in there, I loved it immediately.
I kind of wasn't convinced until we landed last Friday. But this time I did not buy a refundable flight. So this time I was coming to Germany no matter what.
Once I knew in my heart that, no, we were going to do it and it was going to work this year, I'm pretty much like, okay, it's going to happen. If I have to will it into place, it's going to happen. And then to see something that we've been working on for so long that's been in pieces hanging in the ethers, to have it come together and land on the stage, that was amazing.
Eddie and I sat on the swing set and smoked and talked.
And I'm really pleased with the production.
I like the kind of flowers that smell.
And something just clicked.
As soon as the sound cue for the first cue came up, as soon as the lights came up, everything lifted off me.
For my Rumspringa, I'm going to go to the beach because I'm going to wear a bathing suit. A red one with flowers on it. And it will show my breasts a little, but not too much.
Everyone throws themselves in like with great compassion, with great passion for the work.
I asked him how they were, how his little girls were, and he looked at me and he said, "We must trust now in God."
I don't know if there is another kind of work that you can even compare, like how we work here.
I've loved working with this company of actors and Nikki as the director, Renata as the associate, because they've really felt like a company, so I've really been enjoying that.
So the whole project wouldn't have been possible without the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, the UMBC, and the College of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, and the Center for Innovation, Research and Creativity in the Arts, the CIRCA, and the Munich Film Akademie. So we were really giving everything we could to make the project happen.
I'm sorry that we're closing it because I really think it's a beautiful production. I think it needs to run. I think it needs to be taken places and played. have to say that I don't think my heart's been as touched by work I've done than this project here for the entire scope of it. That's what I would say.
Nikki is, man, you look into those eyes and you see pure love.
She doesn't give up on you.
Nikki, I just wanted to let you know that it is such an honor working with you, and I feel that you are a very, very special person.
Thank you for always looking out for us and keeping the energy happy.
I want to thank Nikki for letting me work with her, because watching her working with actors is just pure joy.